Hey class, I hope you guys are doing well. I'm going to quickly go over this topic with you that you're working on throughout this week, and it is on factoring quadratics and then finding the x-intercepts. So remember, when you have a quadratic, we know this is a quadratic equation, first of all, because the highest exponent is a 2. That's called the degree of the polynomial. Okay, so remember the first thing we do is we set the equation equal to, good Andreas, 0. Very good. So we're going to go ahead and cancel these two terms out on the right side. So we're canceling that term out. Notice I'm putting it underneath the like term. Canceling this term out. Notice I'm putting it under the like term. Okay, so now we have negative 8x minus 2x, we get negative 10x. Okay, so always set your quadratics equal to 0 when you're going to factor or when you're going to solve them. Okay, so next thing we're going to do is we're going to identify a, b, and c. So here's our a value. And we're in standard form. Okay, so let's go ahead and draw our x to factor this. A times c on the top, our b value on the bottom. And then we do our little Sudoku part of the game, trying to figure out what two numbers multiply to give us the top number and add to give us the bottom number. So it looks like this one's kind of a tough one because 24 has quite a few factors. But Mr. Kramer hasn't gotten that rusty yet. Negative 12 times 2 is negative 24. Negative 12 plus 2 is negative 10. See? Review. You remember this, don't you? Rocco, wake up. Just kidding. I know you're watching. By the way, Hussein isn't in Google Classroom yet, so Rocco, would you please get a hold of him for me and get him in Google Classroom? Thanks. All right, so we're going to put our a value on top. And that's a 4. We're going to reduce our fractions. Perfect. And now we're ready to write our factors. So our first factor here is going to be 1x minus 3. Always remember to keep your sign on the bottom. And then, so we're done with those two. So this one's going to be 2x, and this is a positive 1. How's that? We've just factored our quadratic. Remember that? Of course you do. Of course you do. All right, so now we're going to find the x-intercepts. Remember, x-intercepts, that's the same thing as zeros, solutions, and yep, that's right. Good job, Dominic. Roots. I knew I could count on you. All right, so now let's go ahead and find those x-intercepts. So we want to set each factor equal to 0. And now this is called the zero product property. So since these are both equal to 0, we can set each one equal to 0 and solve for x. So one of our solutions is x equals 3. And then the other solution, now be careful, you've got to cancel both of those out. So we're canceling out the 1 first. And then we have to cancel out the multiply with division. So if your parent is following along and they have no clue what I'm talking about, you can help them out, right? Right. So now, right now they're written as solutions, and we want to write them as x-intercepts. So this x-intercept is going to be 3, 0. And this x-intercept is going to be -1/2, 0. Now on the quiz later this week, they also could be possibly, I don't like this format for x-intercepts. I would prefer this format here. But they may be listed as an x-intercept of 3 and an x-intercept of -1/2, like that. So just as long as you have those numbers correct, you've done a great job. Well, I hope you and your families are well, and I hope we come back. I hope that I get to see you again this school year. I miss all of you very, very much. Please send me your questions, and I will get back to you as soon as I possibly can. Now, there is an online free calculator, TI Inspire calculator. You just need to go on the web to Texas Instruments, and it's free, and download the calculator. I'll try to put a link to that in Google Classroom if I haven't already done so. Talk to y'all later.